The Apple Story, from garage to global domination. Take a look around you right now. Odds are there's an Apple product somewhere in sight. The phone in your pocket, the laptop on your desk, maybe even those little white AirPods in someone's ears nearby. Apple isn't just a tech company anymore, it's part of everyday life. But here's the wild part. This global giant started in a garage. And along the way, it's been a roller coaster ride of genius ideas, epic fails, boardroom drama, near bankruptcy, and some of the boldest comebacks in business history. So grab a coffee and get comfy, because we're diving into the full story of Apple from scrappy beginnings to global domination.
The humble beginnings. Picture this: California, 1976. A garage that would go down in history. Inside, 3 guys were cooking up something revolutionary. You know, 2 of them, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. But here's the trivia nugget. There was a 3rd co-founder, Ronald Wayne. He designed the first logo and even wrote the first manual. But he sold his shares for $800. Today, those shares would be worth billions. Painful, right? Wozniak was the tech wizard, Jobs was the visionary salesman, and together they launched the Apple I. It wasn't a shiny computer. It was literally a motherboard you had to assemble yourself. Imagine explaining that today. Hey, I just bought a computer. It comes in parts. On April 1st, 1976, Apple Computer Inc. was officially born. Nope. Not an April Fool's joke, though the world had no idea what was coming.
Early breakthroughs. The Apple II in 1977 changed everything. It wasn't just for hobbyists. It was sleek, user-friendly, and even had color graphics. Suddenly, computers weren't just lab equipment. They were in classrooms and living rooms. Then came the Macintosh in 1984. Remember that famous Super Bowl commercial? The one where Apple promised to shatter conformity? That was the Mac's grand entrance. It introduced something mind-blowing at the time: the graphical user interface and the mouse. No more typing mysterious code, just point, click, and go. And here's a fun Steve Jobs story. Back in college, he took a calligraphy class just for fun. Everyone thought it was useless. But that's why Macs had beautiful fonts from day one. Jobs literally turned doodles into design history.
The turbulent years. But success didn't last forever. By the late 80s, Apple was a mess. Leadership fights, failed products, and no clear vision. To make it worse, Jobs was forced out in 1985 after a power struggle with CEO John Sculley. Imagine being kicked out of the company you started in your garage. Without Jobs, Apple lost its spark. Through the 90s, things got ugly. Sales tanked, market share shrank, and products like the Newton flopped hard. By 1997, Apple was literally weeks away from bankruptcy. And then came the twist. Microsoft, yes, Microsoft, swooped in with a $150 million investment to keep Apple alive. That's right. The same company behind Windows actually helped save Apple.
The return of Jobs, 1997. Cue the comeback story. Jobs returned in 1997, and the first thing he did was slash the clutter. Apple had dozens of random products, and Jobs axed almost all of them. His philosophy? Focus on a few, make them insanely great. The iMac in 1998 was the comeback kid. Colorful, fun, and nothing like the beige PCs everyone else was selling. Suddenly, Apple was cool again. Then came the iPod in 2001. 1,000 songs in your pocket. Those white earbuds weren't just headphones, they were a cultural flex. And with iTunes, Apple didn't just sell gadgets, it redefined how the world bought music. But Jobs wasn't done. The iPhone revolution. In 2007, Jobs walked on stage and teased the world. Today,
Apple is going to reinvent the phone. An iPod, a phone, an internet communicator. People thought he was talking about 3 devices. Then he revealed it was all one product, the iPhone. Game changed forever. The iPhone wasn't just a phone, it was a handheld computer, a camera, a music player, and a portal to the internet. A year later, the App Store launched, and suddenly developers everywhere could create apps. That turned the iPhone into a platform, the start of the modern smartphone era.
Expanding the ecosystem. After the iPhone, Apple didn't slow down. iPad 2010 made tablets mainstream. Apple Watch 2015 put health, fitness, and notifications on your wrist. AirPods 2016 wireless earbuds that everyone made fun of at first, until everyone wanted them. Apple wasn't just making gadgets anymore, it was building an ecosystem. Each product worked seamlessly with the others, locking people deeper into the Apple lifestyle. Design and marketing magic. At the heart of it all was Apple's design obsession. Jobs once said, "Design isn't just how something looks, it's how it works." From packaging to software, everything had to feel simple and human. And the marketing, legendary. The Think Different campaign in 1997 wasn't just an ad, it was a manifesto. It turned Apple into the brand for creatives, rebels, and dreamers. Buying an Apple product wasn't just a purchase, it was joining a movement. Apple today. Fast forward to now. Apple is worth trillions. The iPhone alone brings in more money than entire Fortune 500 companies. And they're still pushing boundaries. Apple Music and Apple TV Plus in entertainment. Apple Pay and iCloud in services. And now, the Vision Pro, Apple's leap into spatial computing, basically blending digital and physical worlds. Services have become a massive part of Apple's business, keeping users locked in and spending every month. Here's a little Jobs gem to end with. When building the first Macintosh, he insisted the inside of the computer look beautiful, even though nobody would see it. Why? Because true craftsmanship, he said, is about caring even when nobody's watching. That's the Apple story in a nutshell. Vision, obsession with detail, dramatic failures, even bigger comebacks, and products that changed how we live. From a garage in California to dominating the globe, Apple's journey is proof that thinking differently can literally change the world.